So yeah, I found that out through the gut test. I can't eat too much spinach. It's actually bad for me. Really? What? What is gut microbiome testing help? Man, look, I'm telling you, we're gonna all learn something today. That is pretty cool. Viamine. Here, let me see. It makes me think of who knows I Love Lucy, the Vita Vita Vegemin. Remember that episode, the Vita Vita Vegemin episode? And she was getting drunk. Your blood type also helps define your appropriate diet. I think I know my blood type. I don't know. I think I do though. All right, I had to check on the baby. Vitamin. You guys can see my screen? No, huh? You guys can see my screen, right? Now you can. All right, cool. Yeah, vitamin. This one right here. Hey, look, up to 70% off. Look at that. Look at that. If you trying to go get it, up to 70% off. Health insights, personalized food recommendations, and precision supplements formulated just for you. Viamine.com. Right? So that was their commercial. I'm gonna check this out though, because I wish I knew more. I need to know more about like my body and things like that. So if you guys don't know that much about you, let's learn something. And what did it say? 2022 you. So yeah. All right, enough of that jazz. We got another day of boot camp. How was yesterday? How'd you guys feel after yesterday? How we feel after yesterday? Yesterday we talked about the inside bar. And I see people went crazy with that inside bar yesterday. I see people went absolutely nuts yesterday with the inside bar as soon as we were off the call. Maybe while we were on the call. Yeah, inside bars are awesome. Inside bar. All right, cool. All right, let me see. Let's get in here. Watching my charts, looking for them. I missed it. Gotta go back and watch it. Yes. If you missed this, I would definitely highly suggest going back and watching it. What's going on, guys? I see we've got the gang in here. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? I need to back test the train. Yeah, that's gonna be the best thing too, is in the beginning, if you have a hard time identifying these inside bars, the accumulation, manipulation, distribution, please first go watch those videos. Definitely watch the video, because you'll get the detail first of what we're looking for. Yesterday's video was actually really good too. If you didn't see last week, yesterday's video will probably be the one. We broke down the anatomy of the candlestick as well, regarding the high and low, the open and close of candles, and why those are important when looking for the inside bars. I saw Glow and hit me up in the chat yesterday, and she also realized something. She said, what was it, Glow? Inside bars also what, a harami?
Yeah. So I went back. I keep telling you guys to go through your candlestick book, and this is like my 20th time going through it, but I always learn something new. So after coming to class yesterday and then going through my book, I realized that it seems so familiar to me because we have been learning it all along, and that's the harami. And
this candle here, right?
Also known as the mother and the baby candle, which is what Sham has been teaching us for the last couple. So your candlestick book.
Nice. Yeah, I need to get in there too, because that's a good catch. So for those who see haramis, if you know a harami, start looking for the inside bar. If you know the inside bar, start training yourself to see the harami. and you'll be able to catch them one and the other. Shout out to Glow. Drop some sevens in the chat, guys, because that's a gem. And that's the part of trading that I tell you guys, make it relatable to how you can see it, right? Batman, right? I see Batman, but you guys may see Uncle Jim, things like that. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. But yeah, that was super dope that she said that. So I wanted her to explain her foundings on that. But yeah, that inside bar, man, we might just trade all inside bar next year. I don't know. No, I'm playing. But it is now a nice little, price action tool that you can put into your toolbox now. So yeah. So we have way more patterns that the market likes to give, that the market likes to show. All right. It's funny because here, I'm going to use a different chart today. We'll go GBP CAD. GN. All right, we'll go GN. Do I have GN on here? I don't, but it's cool. We'll get to it. We'll look at GN. Hold on. So let's see. We'll see though if I see anything that I like, because I want to talk to you guys today. Is GN the most volatile pair? That depends. What do you mean by that? Like in relative to all the other pairs? I would think GU is probably the most volatile out of the pound pairs, just because it's connected to the dollar. The most volatile pairs are going to be your majors, right? Your majors are the most volatile pairs. That's why they're the majors. The minors are the minors, you know what I'm saying? And then the cross pairs is just kind of, you know what I'm saying, leftovers. No, I'm playing. But that's just how it works. The majors are what everybody's trading. The big banks are connected to. What all of the, 7 countries, 8 countries that are trading. It's gonna be them mostly. And then the minors, they carry weight, but they're just not as volatile. In relation to GU, who will give you 100 pips in 20 minutes. CAD CHF may not give you 100 pips for a week. So it really just depends. You know what I mean? But GU is probably the most volatile out of the pound pairs for sure. But what I'm trying to go over with you guys today is all of the patterns that we see. The Batman, right? Uncle Jim, and kind of explain to you why I call them what they are. But I don't really like, oh, duh. Why nobody tell me I wasn't on GN? You guys realize I thought I was on GN this whole time. Man, I'm gonna get you guys. They said we weren't looking. You said you desperately need help with Uncle Jim. All right, we can talk about that today too. We'll talk about that. We will talk about that. And what all Uncle Jim is, guys, all it really is a head and shoulders. Simple as that. Right? So we'll talk about head and shoulders patterns today. Because, hold on, let me get that. Oh, that I need. I like this one. Let's see if it'll give it to me nice. Oh, come on. I just want the picture. Oh, it's kind of trash though. But you guys get the idea, right? We would talk about the expectation once pattern hits neckline. What do you mean by that? I don't like, don't stop expecting things. Don't expect what's going to happen. That's why I think that's what I need to tell you guys to do too. You just have to look and just wait and react. You don't expect anything to happen in the market. That's where you go wrong, is expecting things to happen in life everywhere. You can't. You just have to react to it. Because what do I mean by that? The neckline is not the same here as it is here. So if you see a neckline, right? I see this. Hold on, let me. So that's why I want us to change the way we think about this. I see this neckline. Some people probably don't see that though, right? I see this one here. Some people probably don't see that. So when you give an expectation of what would happen at a neckline, people would look for that every time, but then you'd be wrong because it doesn't happen like that every time, right? So that's why I show you guys the way I show you, Uncle Jim, Batman, because it's not always going to be the same ever. I think that is something we have to say. No two patterns will ever look the same always. Like, that's what you got to remember. It's never going to look the same. This head and shoulders here looks way different from this head and shoulders down here. So what is a head and shoulders? A head and shoulders is literally price just breaking above support and coming right back down. Right? That's it. It's a fake out. All a head and shoulders is a fake out, guys. Simply put, if I broke it down to you, price technically was consolidating within this box. How do we know that? Because it went up and came right back down. Right? That's all it is. So now you'll start to understand everything I've been teaching you in this boot camp. All these patterns lead into each other. Right? All these patterns go hand in hand. Yeah, conservative versus aggressive entries, absolutely. Right? The best way to identify head and shoulders is I like to look for either the left or the right shoulder first. And what do I mean by that? I like to look for where price is consolidating at a support. 9 times out of 10, your left shoulder and or your right shoulder is going to be a point of consolidation somewhere. That's just how the market works. Why? Because of the market cycle. Accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. Can you guys tell me that you see everything, right? What is this? Accumulation. What would this be, right? Well, this whole area right here, I would consider this accumulation. This would be the manipulation. This is the distribution. That's one way to look at it, right? So now, if you don't see the head and shoulders, right? What you do, this is how I used to do it, right? I'll put a box around where I thought the left shoulder was, right? If you're talking about necklines, because the neckline and the shoulder line are support and resistance of the zone. The neckline and the shoulder lines are the support and resistance of that zone. You see what I'm saying? So for me teaching you guys the manipulation, you should already be able to spot a head and shoulders pattern. It may be hard, but it shouldn't be that hard anymore to see. Because you know now when price accumulates, manipulates, and distributes, right? You guys following me? You guys follow? When price accumulates, manipulates, and distributes, it turns into a head and shoulders pattern. Right? It literally turns into a head. What other pattern have we been talking about? What reversal patterns have we been talking about? What reversal patterns have we been talking about? Exactly, a VMW. And what pattern do you see? What do we see here? What is this? What's this one here? Right? That's an A, right? Clear as day. What's this one right here? Right? So head and shoulders pattern, that's how I'm gonna tell you guys to look for it. Look for the A's and the V's because we're talking about reversal patterns still at the same time, right? I'm not gonna, because I don't want to complicate trading. I'm not gonna show it to you this way because I still want you guys to be thinking A's, V's, W's, M's. I don't even want to talk neckline because a lot of times they're showing you a perfect neckline. It don't always happen like this, right? Let's look, let's check it. Check it. Right, there's your shoulder line. If this was your neckline, you see how it's confusing because price technically closes above it and it doesn't come like even perfectly to it how they say it needs to be before it gives you that right shoulder again. So I don't like to think as perfect as a pattern will, like pictures show you. I want to find the hard pattern to identify. So yes, our left shoulder would be here, right? Here is our neckline. Price dips to give us the head, right? Price comes back to respect the neckline. What some would need to see is and this is where I don't like expectations. A lot of people would have expected at this immediate zone right here, price to pull back, but that's not what happened, right? Just like this picture is showing you. Price came to this level and immediately pulled back. That is not what happened. Can we agree? Can we agree on that? That does not look the same? Right? But they are both still a head and shoulders pattern, correct? So that's where don't expect. We wait, right? We still have to wait because what has to happen, even price coming to the neckline, once it does, it has to come and give you the right shoulder. And that would be here. So we'll say left shoulder. And right shoulder. Now, the other reason I'm going to show you it this way too is because I've also taught you guys about inside bars. We were just talking about support and resistance and how wicks tell a story, right? And how wicks tell a story. This is why I've been breaking it down this way. So yeah, the head and shoulders pattern is going to look like this, but you are not always going to get candle closures. You're not always going to get full candles coming down there. It may just be a wick, and you have to know to respond to it though. You cannot be afraid if price pulls back all the way up here. You have to ask yourself, where are my candles closing? What do we see present within the right shoulder? What do we see present? What's this? Right, inside bars, right? What's this right here? Inside bar. So that is telling you, right? All of this wick is coming to this wick high. See evening star? Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? It's letting you know, hey, this is where your right shoulder is going to be. This is where the price action is playing out. Right? So I'm trying to break it down to you guys in price action. Just to cover everything we have been seeing. Right? So now let's look at another example. Head and shoulders typically happen at the highs and lows of market. You're not going to see a lot of you'll see small head and shoulders kind of trying to be within, but they're 9 times out of 10 going to be at the highs and lows of the market. All right. This is technically a head and shoulders. You've got a left shoulder here. All right. You have, so, right? Why is this the left shoulder and why is this the high? Just look for the consolidation, guys, right? Just look for the consolidation. Right? That's where all the consolidation is. Wherever price goes above that consolidation, that is going to be the head of that market. Period. That's just the easiest way, right? Find the fake out and you'll find the head, right? It is exactly, it's in the demand zone, right? It's going to be right there. Head. Now, a couple things will happen, right? This is still a head and shoulders, but you do not get that perfect, right? Price didn't come to that neckline and just reverse. It broke way below the neckline, right? It broke way below the neckline, but that is something that can still happen. That would still give you the head and shoulders pattern, right? Because what price will do is pull back still to your demand zone, and that is your shoulder line. So just imagine you're turning your screen just a little bit that way. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Does that make sense? Am I confusing anybody? Is anybody confused? Right, exactly. And so that's what Glow is saying is now knowing what we know, you guys can spot and identify everything else. All right, so here's the thing, because people will tell you, oh, you only trade a head and shoulders when price comes back to the right shoulder or to the neckline or however. But I just taught you guys what an inside bar is, right? And all of this in here is letting you know, right? This wick going way up here is letting you know the price wants to reverse. You can enter the market on the head of the market. You can. It just really depends on how comfortable you are with identifying market structure. All right. But I just want you guys get the visual of a head and shoulders in the most odd ways. I'm not trying to show you perfect head and shoulders. I'm trying to show you the hard ones. All right, you got who's confused? What's confusing you, Daniel? What's got you confused? Where exactly is the neckline on this one? The neckline is where the consolidation is. Right? The neckline is where the consolidation is. That's all. So how do I explain this? Because you guys are going to see them like this, right? The neckline is where price is going to respect, right? The neckline is where price respects. But if you put a box from the top to the bottom of the zone, it's just support and resistance. Head and shoulders. Let me go to, I don't really like GN. It consolidates way too much. Watch, I'll show you. GU is going to look way different and easier to read. So, okay, because the right shoulder barely comes over that neckline. Yeah, that's going to happen, but that's going to happen like that, Nikila. It's not always going to look perfect, right? So here is an inverted head and shoulders. Let me go to a time frame to where you can see it. right? This is an inverted head and shoulders. How do I see that? Right, first, I can see this left shoulder here where price was consolidated. Again, your left and your right shoulder are going to be a point of consolidation, whether it be a doji, whether it be railroad tracks. That is a point of consolidation. I need you guys to understand just the basics of what I'm saying, right? Because right here, this is a left shoulder. Right shoulder probably doesn't come till over here, right? There's so many different ways you can see this. Price consolidate. There's a support here. Just scroll over. See where this price is supported right here as well. Absolutely. That would be your neckline. You don't even have to identify the head to know where the neckline is. That's the coolest part. All you need to know is where is support and resistance. Where is support and where is resistance? Did price break below that? Okay, that's the head. Did price come back above it in respect? That's your next shoulder. Like, I'm just trying to make it visually easy for you guys without making it harder. I want you to see them, right? And know that now on a higher time frame, it will look a little clearer. Left shoulder, head, price comes back up, right shoulder, and then it's out of here. That's why I stopped looking for head and shoulders patterns, because I believe personally in 2020, they stopped throwing that pattern. Like, as smooth as it used to look, they stopped making it look that smooth. And that's where Uncle Jim was born, right? Because where you guys are looking for price to just come straight down and straight back up, the market doesn't do that anymore. The market comes down, comes up, and goes back down. And this is where people don't think this is still a head and shoulders pattern. Seeing more than one point at the bottom, they will think, oh my goodness, this market's gonna sell. No, it's not, right? It's just giving you more to go off of. So now was the birth of Uncle Jim, right? Because in a typical head and shoulders, you'll have 1 point of consolidation. Now we have 3. Now we have 3, right? Triple top. However you want to identify it. It's still all a head and shoulders. I want you guys understand that, right? It is still a head and shoulders pattern. A triple top, double top, M's, V's, and W's. Those are head and shoulder patterns. It's the same thing. It's all the same. The only difference is how many times does it come back to this level before it wants to reject. That's it. That's it. Right? So Uncle Jim just came because at one point of resistance, you can just draw an eye. At another point of resistance, you can draw another eye and see a face. It's not a different pattern. So that's why when you guys were always saying it's a different pattern, you guys get confused. I used to get confused. How or when do you recognize this in real time? Do you not? So Daniel, question, do you know how to recognize accumulation, manipulation, and distribution in real time? Back testing. Because if you can't do it back testing, you won't be able to do it real time. That's the answer. Back testing. You don't know anything until you know it. Right? I think that's what you guys have to stop worrying about, finding it in real time and start understanding it first. Get the basics down of it. Go mark it up. Mark up a head and shoulders pattern 37,000 times. Go mark up Uncle Jim 37,000 times. Consolidation, rise and fall. That's it. Have you guys watched the other bootcamp videos actually? Before I start going and doing stuff over that I really shouldn't have to. Please go watch every video. If you don't, go watch the videos because we went over this for the last 2 weeks. So if you are not yet, look, I'm gonna just leave all this stuff here. What is this? Right, I'm gonna do this. What is this? Consolidation. What is this? Manipulation. There we go. But what pattern? Okay, so now what pattern does the manipulation just form? A V. What pattern forms on the head and shoulders? Where are we at? You guys are going to get this. I promise you, you guys are going to get this. Right? You guys see it now? You guys understand what I've been trying to show you this whole time? It's the same thing. You guys are overthinking it a little bit too much, guys. I love you, but yo, stop thinking so much. Stop thinking so much. Look for where price consolidates. Ask yourself, is that support and or resistance? Ask yourself, does price break below and come back to that zone? If those three things get you 2 yeses, you have yourself a head and shoulders pattern. But it's not just a head and shoulders pattern. It's accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. Does this make sense now? I love that we're doing this boot camp because I really need you guys have to see things less complicated, but we'll get it. Less complicated. I don't know. I'm trying to think of how to like less complicate this. This is like the least complicated way. If you can't see the patterns, then that's going to be tough. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, this is probably like the easiest way because teaching like the way I was taught head and shoulders, I never understood it. So I don't teach it this way. I don't worry about all this. I don't personally. I really don't. I'm not this kind of teacher because none of this stuff relates to anybody who doesn't know the damn technical terms, who doesn't know anything about nothing. So the way I do it is we all know support and resistance. We now should all know and start understanding A's, V's, M's, and W's. A head and shoulders pattern is 3 V's. 1 V, 2 V, 3 V's. Look for 3 V's or 3 A's and you have yourself a head and shoulders pattern. There's nothing else to it. Theoretically, the head of the head and shoulders is a manipulation. That's what I've been saying this whole time. That's exactly what you guys, this is boot camp. I'm gonna need you guys to really chill out in the chat because I need you guys to be paying attention. Less trying to figure stuff out in the chat and more charts. Because this whole time, I've been telling you guys, look for the accumulation, the consolidation, right? This whole zone's consolidation. Look for the manipulation. Look for the distribution. It's all a head and shoulders pattern. All of these patterns are all the same. If you know one, I promise you, you know others. You just don't know that you know. Right? Because this also is an M. Is it not? And what is an M in the market? Reversal pattern. I'm telling you guys, don't overthink trading. Trading is stupid simple. It really is. We're making it way more complicated than it needs to be. We're making it way more complicated than it needs to be. There's an M, there's an A, there's an A. Here is support. Did price break below? Yes or no? You know what I'm saying? Like, look, guys, let's, right? This one down here. Ask yourself, where is support and resistance? Right? Pretty much in this whole zone, I'd say in this zone where most of the orders are touching, right? Most of the orders are touching. The price break below and come back to the zone. Right? Simple as that. And then the other reason why I look at Head and Shoulders different too is because they're just launch pads. And I taught you guys the launch pad. I taught you guys how to trade through consolidation, and that's all this is. I want you guys to start looking just for all of these markers and just all these high points and low points in the market, and just go box them up and ask yourself, is that actually consolidation? Truly ask yourself, is it actually consolidation? All right. Oh, why is it not going? There we go. Let's see. Right. All you really need is to identify one shoulder. If you can identify one shoulder, right? And where I would call a shoulder is where you see price just hit a point in the market where it does not want to continue up, right? Where you see price respecting. 9 times out of 10, that's going to be a left shoulder or a right shoulder somewhere where price just, if it used to trip me out, right? Because when I first started trading, I would see the market do this and be like, whoa, why is it stopping in the middle of nowhere? Isn't it supposed to keep going up? Like, doesn't the market just keep going? Why would it just stop? And then I started understanding support and resistance, right? So if this started creating support here, eventually, somewhere over here, support would also have to be created and respected, right? All price does is come, manipulate, and come right back. All right, that's it. Head and Shoulders is just manipulation. That's the best way I wanted to teach you guys a Head and Shoulders pattern, because it's probably the easiest pattern to see in the market. The easiest pattern to see in the market. And I'm trying to show you the most unconventional way that Head and Shoulders right? Because they happen all the time. This is the left shoulder, right? Price comes up, price comes back, and respects the right shoulder. Just that fast. Just this fast. That's it. Right? But it all has to do with the point of consolidation. I want you guys to be identifying the supply and demand zones before anything. That's going to tell you everything you need to know. You can find a Head and Shoulders before it happens. Would you agree that a Head and Shoulders are easier to see on higher time frames, maybe 4 hour and above? I would absolutely agree. But you guys already know that. You guys know that. I tell you, get off of those little time frames. Get off of those little time frames. It's not telling you anything but stressing you out. Right? Because anything, so let's say you come to a 1 hour, you can find them on a 1 hour time frame. Don't get me wrong. Right? But it's going to look a little different. In this case, here it is here. Right? Where is your consolidation? There's a consolidation right there. Literally. Right? Did price dip below this consolidation? Did it come back and respect our zone? Yes. Okay, cool. Then we know it's time to distribute. All a head and shoulders is, guys, is accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. That is it. That's it. I'm not going to tell you it's this. No, it is accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. That is a head and shoulders pattern. So please, please go watch this boot camp. Please, because all that is just patterns on top of patterns on top of patterns. All we've been talking about is patterns this past 2 weeks. I'm about to throw my pattern board away. No, I'm playing. I'm kidding. I'll never do that. I'll never do that. Right? But I do really, really need us to understand accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. Do we see this now? Do we see it? Does this make a little bit more sense? Are we confused? Please tell me, are you confused? Is anybody confused? Makes sense now? I'm only seeing a couple people say something and it's like 30 people on here. More clear? All right, cool. And honestly, I want to be honest, guys, because, you know, I'm not the most technical teacher. I'm not going to tell you, oh, look for this candlestick and look for that candlestick. Because why am I not going to do that? Here's a reason. Once we know where our consolidation is, I'm just going to tell you, look for price action. Start looking for price action. We get railroads, right? Starting to get, technically, we've got a whole bunch of inside bars down here too, right? I missed how to take a call. I'll listen to the replay. No words, right? There's a lot of price action in here that we just talked about. Wicks rejection, right? All kind of stuff that makes it a little bit easier to understand how to read the market, because I'm lightweight convinced people make it sound a lot harder than it needs to be just to make themselves feel better, like they're smarter than people or something. I never understood that. Or like they know more or something because you know more words. Hey, there's 2 ways to skin a cat. I could use a lot less energy too doing it. So that's kind of how I think, right? I'd much rather use the least amount of energy and get the same result, but know thoroughly and in a way that I understand it, 100% of what we're talking about. I would love to master inside bars on higher time frames. Well, you know, you can knock them down on the daily. You can knock them down on the daily. There's one right there. And TP, what almost got hit, yeah. Right, they're everywhere. Technically, this is a head and shoulders too, right? Where is the consolidation? The point of consolidation is going to be your shoulder line and your neckline every time, every time. And look what you get right at your shoulder line. What is that? What's this right here? Did it break the low? Did it ever break this low? Right? This red candle here never broke that low. Inside bar. Hello. Right? But technically, that was the right shoulder. So again, everything that I've been telling you guys for the last 2 weeks, it is all the same. Whenever you guys are hearing me say these different terms or different words, I'm talking about the same exact thing. Is price respecting support and is price respecting resistance. It goes back to the very basics. It goes back to the very basics. Right? I'm actually really glad that we're doing this too, because when we then start, you know what I'm saying? When you guys start getting with Glow and Delvani on the study halls, because they talk about their patterns, I know they're more technical than I am. So then you guys will get the technical sauce from them, which it's still, you guys will see, it's all the same. It's all the same. There's really more than 2 ways to skin a cat. If you ask somebody else, probably 30. Probably, I don't know. But I say that to say, as long as you get the same end result, I really don't care how you figured it out. I really don't care. I'm not that kind of teacher where, oh, you got to show me your work and it has to be this way or that doesn't work. 10 plus 1, 1 plus 10, 5 plus 4 plus 5, like all that stuff, it still gets the same result. So I'll never knock you on how you get there. Right? That's why you have a couple different ways to see patterns. Just know, head and shoulders is nothing but accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. If you think you see the market being manipulated, I bet you it's a head and shoulders, right? In this case here, our point of consolidation is actually a pretty large one. The market was consolidating within this whole zone, right? We see price broke above. We see price dip back down. And this is why I tell you head and shoulders won't always look the same. Because what did they do? They came back up to the high of that market. So who said hello to us? Right? Uncle Jim. It's the only difference. Uncle Jim is a double top. Uncle Jim is a triple top. That's the only difference. Does price come back, respect our consolidated zone? Absolutely. You can pull the trigger here. You can pull the trigger up here. Just based on how I teach you guys and what I've taught you. Most people won't be able to see the market how you guys see it. I promise you. I promise you. It's just like that, though. This is accumulation. This is the manipulation. This was the distribution. Does that make sense? Sorry, guys. Does that make sense? How do we feel about head and shoulders today? How do we feel? How do we feel? Feel better? Feel like it's not so complicated anymore? Right? Like you don't have to. And really, I'm teaching like I'm trying to teach a 7-year-old what to look for. And I can't really tell a 7-year-old liquidity zones and fair value market gaps and all that other stuff. I can't. I could tell a 7-year-old, hey, look for this pattern, bro. Look for this M. Look for it to make a face. Seriously, that's how I think. That's how I'm thinking when I'm teaching. Right? It's that simple. You just have to know and train your eyes what you're looking for. Right? So this one will result in homework. This video, right? Because now we're starting to get into some patterns. I get it now, but have to do it myself to really understand. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not back testing for you guys. Shoot, no, that's something you gotta do. I'm doing this for me. But you should be doing your back test for you. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. I can't back test for you. Nobody can back test for you. Right. But what I do need to see from you guys, I need you guys to if we could get this sent out too. I would like you guys to identify 3 head and shoulders patterns, right? And 3 Uncle Jim patterns. 3 head and shoulders patterns and 3 Uncle Jim patterns. Right? You don't even have to use the head and shoulders tool. You can use arrows. I just want you guys to place notes. I want you guys to tell me, where's your left shoulder? Where's your right shoulder? Where's the head? Where's the however you want to word it. I just want you guys to place the notes to let me know that you know how to identify a head and shoulders pattern, aka accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. right? Sound good? Can we do that? That would be awesome. Is that doable, guys? Did I lose you? All right, cool. All right. 3 Head and Shoulders and 3 Uncle Jims. It could be inverted, regular. Inverted means it's upside down, right? That's it. Inverted means it's upside down. Right? 3 Head and Shoulders, 3 Uncle Jims. Place the notes on the chart too. And we'll talk about it. Tomorrow we'll talk about Batman's. We'll talk about Bart and what's that dude's name? Man Ray. There you go. We'll talk about Man Ray too, because again, they all go hand in hand. I'm gonna show you guys again how this works. You'll realize, yo, this dude Sham's crazy, but it all makes sense, right? Just cartoons did something good, I guess. They always said watching cartoons is gonna make you stupid. Watching cartoons made me a genius. That's how I feel. So man, guys, that really is it for today. Gotta go get some food in me. Please get those charts in. Don't rush. I'm gonna give you guys till like what, Friday, Saturday. No rush. It's a holidays. I know we're just chilling and stuff. You guys might be with family and things still. So yeah, whenever you guys can get that in. Definitely before the 1st though. Let's say that. This will be due before the 1st for sure. If you turn it in next year, this is late. If you turn this in next year, this is late. But yeah, guys, I will see you guys in the chats. Thank you guys for being patient with me this morning, for starting a little bit late. And yeah, let's get to it. I'll see you guys later.